Hi, I'm Lee and this is my podcast about my handmade life. I'm on Instagram as louleigh_, and on Ravelry is louleigh, and I'm on Etsy. I'm a purveyor of fine knitting bags and needle cases. You can find me there as Shop Louleigh, or you can go to louleigh.com and find links to all of my online places. Welcome! It's really nice to have you here today joining me. I've had a few new subscribers, so if this is your first episode, then it's lovely to have you. And of course, if you're coming back, it's always nice to chat with you guys. This week in community news, we have the Louleigh's Simple Socks Cal going on in the Louleigh Ravelry group. If you haven't joined the group, then it would be great to have you come over and introduce yourself and just join in the fun there. That would be really good. But Louleigh's Simple Socks is a collection of pretty easy patterns that I put out earlier in the year, and so I have been knitting along with all of you as you knit your simple socks, and I have finished one sock. There you go. The yarn is truly hooked, and this is ankle socks with ventilation, and I can't wait to wear these. I wore the ankle socks with ventilation sample the other day. It was made with hedgehog fibres. I can't show it you because it's hanging out on the line. And I love the way that the yarn softened up and fluffed up in the wash. That was really nice. But anyway, so I have one sock. Yeah, and so if you've bought the patterns and you've cast on, then please come over and join us in the Ravelry group. Show us your yarn and what you're knitting with. And if you've finished, then please make sure you enter in the finished objects thread to win a prize. And I have it, it's still sitting on my desk from last week when I showed it you. This is some Blorange yarn that I dyed. It's probably, I think it's my favourite of all of the things that I've dyed, and I keep looking at this on my desk and thinking that I would like to cast it on, but I'm going to gift it to one of you guys at the end of the month if you've popped your finished simple socks into the finished objects thread. So there you go, and I might put some other goodies in with it too. So yeah. I have on my exploration station today. Neighbour's dog is having a little bark. I think you got sheep a couple of episodes ago. That's always nice. I have actually closed the windows because the neighbours were out in their garden, so hopefully you shouldn't be bothered too much by the residual noises. But today I am wearing my exploration station. I had been having a bit of a meh sort of a week, so I thought I needed zhuzhing up a bit, and it's such a fun shawl that it's always nice to get it out and wear it, and it's a bit cooler today so I can wear it. On my knitting needles I have been working on my Bonton cardigan. No one has corrected my pronunciation of that, so if that's not right, then well, if it is right, then that's okay. But if it's not right, then please pop over to the Ravelry group and perhaps you can give me some Norwegian pronunciation tips. But if nobody does, I'm going to assume that that's how you say it, Bonton. It sounds like a small village somewhere. It has that feel about it. Right, so anyway, this is the yoke to my Bonton cardigan. And you haven't seen this project for a while. I think I put it down for a bit while I was working on Simply Socks. Let me spread out the flowers a bit. Roses, I suppose. They feel a bit like Yorkshire roses. Yeah, so that's my Bonton yoke. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I had an epic fail with this yoke. Let me talk about the yarn before I tell you about my epic fail. You've seen this before, but not for a while. I'm using Jameson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight that I got from Brick Yarn. and the colour is FC38 for this one and 202 for this one. So yeah, I just really liked this rusty colour, and I thought that this it's sort of like a light fawn creamy sort of a colour, look quite nice together. So yes, on my first attempt at my Bonton cardigan, I had gotten all the way down to the point where I was splitting for the sleeves and about to start the body, and I was so excited. Gosh, I was excited. And then I realised when I popped it on just to check that it seemed a bit small, quite a bit small, like several roses small. And I was looking at it and thinking, how can I fudge it and make it bigger? And that wasn't going to work because, yeah, when you're several roses small, then, you know, fudging it's just not going to do it. And then I thought, I wonder where I made that mistake. I can possibly just rip back and fix it. Maybe I forgot to put in some increases or something. So I counted the number of stitches that I cast on and realised that that was where I'd made the mistake, right back at the beginning. So I muttered some expletives and cast on again and got the hairy man to count the stitches and make sure that I had enough. So yes, but I have only just unravelled the previous yoke. I put it aside just to sort of, rather than mill over the pain of having done all that knitting for nothing, I thought I would just cast on with fresh yarn. But I have undone the yarn now and wound it back into. I got a new Noster pin the other week. Where's it gone? It's over here. And I was so excited to use it that I thought that that seemed like a good reason to, yeah, it made undoing my yoke much more exciting. It's laburnum, I think, and it's made by the lovely folk at Natural Born Dyers. I got it at the Leeds Wool Festival, and it's just lovely to use, and I have made these cute little balls. So yeah, it's exciting to get cracking on Bonton in the right size. I have also been getting back into my spinning. When I first started spinning, I was doing at least 10 minutes every day, and I was really enjoying experimenting. But then, one day I should tell you about my tour de fleece experience and why I'm probably never going to do tour de fleece again. Although I am tempted to this year with just a small goal like spinning every day. But yeah, there is a finished sweater to show for that experience, and I rather like it, but it kind of put me off spinning a bit. So, but anyway, I have been getting back into it, and at Christmas time I got two things which were quite inspiring. So the first thing that I got was a really lovely loop bump. And I was surprised to find that some people haven't come across loop bumps before. So this is from an American seller, and basically she makes these sort of rolls of roving with these layers of colour in. And she also puts in all sorts of fibre. She has this little bit on the back. This one has merino, nylon and Angelina. So I am going to make myself a pair of sparkly socks. But I had thought with this that I would need to, that in order, most people Navajo ply. They do a single with all of the colours, and then they Navajo ply it to make sort of like a self-striping yarn. And so I had thought that really this was going to be a learning experience, and I was going to save it for special, and I would have to learn to Navajo ply before I ever had the guts to pull this out and use it. But then I got something else around Christmas time. I'm not sure if I got it for Christmas or if I bought it for my own Christmas present. So at the same time I got the Yarn Texture book, and I was in two minds about getting this book because it consolidates a lot of information that I already have. So I have the Spinner's Book of Yarn Design, and I've read through, there's a really good article on Knitty about measuring your yarn and how to spin for consistency, and yeah, it talks about how to take wraps per inch and how to know sort of what gauge your yarn is going to knit to, and how to measure for grist, and all that sort of thing. And the other class that I have on Craftsy is by, is it Felicia Lowe of Sweet Georgia, which is all about colour management in spinning. So I looked at the outline for the book and I thought, oh, I've got all that information already. But I'm actually really glad that I got this book because it sort of consolidates all that in a way that I found really inspiring. It really made me excited to start spinning and experimenting with my spinning again. So yeah, if you're just starting your spinning library, then I would highly recommend this. I think it's a really good book. And sometimes with books like this, there's patterns in this book. Sometimes you sort of look at the patterns and think, well, it's a really good techniques book. Did it really need to be supplemented with the patterns? But I think in this case, the patterns really highlight the techniques and the skills that you learn from the book. So in that respect, I really enjoyed it, and it sort of, I wouldn't say it kick-started my spinning mojo, but it definitely got me back on my wheel. And it made me think about doing something different with my loop pump. So what I've decided to do is to actually spin up all of the colours separately and singles. So this was the first colour, and then it blended into turquoise, and then into kind of like a light limey greeny colour. And I've decided to, I'm going to make socks, so I'm going to make a 3-ply. I've decided to ply those all together to make kind of like a sort of like a bluey greeny tweed. And then what I'm going to do is to take the second 3 colours, so it's got that yellow and then the red and then back to this white, to make a coordinating yarn. So I'll spin up all of those separately on 3 different bobbins and then ply them together, so that I'll have kind of like a warm tweedy colour and a cool tweedy colour. And then obviously I'm going to knit myself a pair of socks. So I've been really excited about that, and really excited that I could take yarn that I was kind of hoarding because it felt a bit fancy and do something which should be quite interesting with it. Yeah, so that has got my spinning mojo kind of coming back, and I really want to get started and ply these, but I also wanted to save them and show to you while they were still in this format. So yeah, really excited to see what the yarn turns out like, especially with this sort of whitey, almost ecru section. Well, no, it is almost white. But anyway, so hopefully I shall have some time to get on to applying that this weekend. So that's all from me for the day. It's been really nice to sit and have a chat with you and spend some time. I hope you'll come and join us in the Ravelry group, and I shall see you next time. Bye!